Great morning, business owners and managers, and welcome to another awesome episode of CX in the Morning, Customer Experience in the Morning. I am your gracious host, Mr. Wes Walters, and on every single CX in the Morning, I bless you with customer service tips, customer experience tricks, and I leave you with gems. And by gems, I mean actionable takeaways that you can implement at the speed of now. Immediately after this broadcast, you will be able to take what you've learned, applying it to your business and your team, making your team and your business better. And that's why we're here. So how has everyone's week been thus far? How has everyone's week been so far? How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? How has the week been? And I'm not talking about, of course, how you feel. I'm talking about the metrics. What does the metrics say about? I'm not talking about, of course, how you feel. I'm talking about the metrics. What does the metrics say about? There you go. Let's copy that. And let's share this with the rest of the family. Let me know how your week has been so far. Let me know how your week has been so far. We want to be sure that everyone gets this. Let's share this with the family. And then we're going to jump right into it. Let's put that there. Boom. Let me know how your week has been so far. And not based on feelings, but based on what the metrics say. Metrics say we've been performing well, or the metrics say we're in trouble. Either way, Wes is here to help you. So you're in good hands regardless. It doesn't matter. Because I am here to help you. How has your week been, Kenise? How has your week been? That's there. All right, boom. Last semester, kicking my entire assets. All right, let's let the juggling begin. So before we begin, I want to start with this real quick. I want to share this screen with you so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see, share screen. All right, boom. All right, so Kenise, you can't see this, but I'll read it out loud so the guys on Instagram can see it. So this is a note. I was at Golden Krust. One of not my favorite restaurant, but when I want some island food, I go to Golden Krust. And it's kind of small, so I'm going to read it to you. It says, to our valued customers, please be advised that effective Tuesday, October 5th, 2021, Golden Krust will increase some of our menu items. This action is driven by the constant, sometimes even monthly, cost increase from our suppliers. We did everything we could to avoid raising our prices, but unfortunately, we alone cannot continue to observe these increased vendor costs. We sincerely apologize and do appreciate your understanding, continued loyalty, and support. So there you have it. So here it is, always operating from a customer-centric point of view. Hey, good morning, Sugarfoot. Hey, Sugarfoot, let me know who you are and what type of business you have. So here it is, always operating from a customer-centric point of view and why that is so important. Now, by always operating from a customer-centric point of view, yes, some of your decisions are not going to make the customer happy. They're not going to make the customer happy. Yes, that's okay. Some of your decisions are not going to make the customer happy. However, if you're always operating from a customer-centric point of view, once you explain to the customer, say, hey, look, this is the quality of food that you're used to. In order to continue providing this quality food, it's going to cost more, and here is why. It's always the reason why. Once you state why, then you got their attention. If you just raise your prices without giving an explanation, the customers are not going to be receptive and they're going to be upset. But if you say, hey, look, We want to continue to provide the great food that you're used to. In order to do that, we're going to have to raise our prices. And here's why: because our vendors are raising the prices. Now, I'm a nerd, customer service nerd. So after I took this picture, I walked outside and I waited outside and I asked the customers that were coming out. I said, hey, you saw the sign about the prices being raised? They all said yes. And I said, how does that make you feel? No one was upset. Not one customer. I interviewed about 7 people, and no one was like, man, how could they? They're always trying to raise prices, and these rich evil white people, or these rich evil black people, these rich evil purple people. None of that. Everything was like, hey, they got to raise the prices. The food is still good. Thumbs up. So once you operate from a customer-centric point of view, yes, a lot of things are not going to make the customer happy. But if taking into consideration the customer's concern, it has to be a win-win situation, win-win-win for all parties involved. So here it is. This is a win-win-win scenario where the business wins, because here it is. They were able to explain to the customers what's happening, and the customers are still loyal fans. They're like, hey, we understand. The business wins. The customer wins because they continue to get the great quality that they used to, and the supplier wins because, of course, the supplier is causing this. The supplier is raising their prices. So it's a win-win-win trifecta effect where everyone in the triangle wins because you're operating from a customer-centric point of view. Let me know if that makes sense, and how important, and we can see how important it is to give them an explanation. So salute to the individuals at Golden Krust by taking this into consideration, and by not just raising the prices without an explanation, but letting the customers know, hey, we value you, we value your opinion, we value how you feel, and this is why we're raising the prices. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I saw it and I was like, that's pretty remarkable. All right, so let the juggling really begin now. Let's jump into today's show. Today's show is entitled 3 Ways to Boost Customer Retention. 3 ways, and this is going to be a doozy. It's going to be in and out real quick. 3 ways to boost customer retention. If you have a business, of course you want to boost customer retention. You want to maintain your customers, because we all know it's cheaper to keep and appease your existing customers than it is to go market to new customers. We all know the law of inertia. An object at rest remains at rest, and an object in motion remains in motion until acted on by some force. So your existing customers are already moving in that direction. An object in motion continues in that motion until acted on by some force. That force is bad customer service. That force is raising your prices without letting them know. That force is being rude. That force is that person, that touch point that gave them a negative experience. Until that happens, they will continue in that same direction until acted on by some force. So we all know it's easy and quicker to maintain existing customers than go marketing to new customers. Not that you shouldn't market to new customers, but it's cheaper to appease your existing loyal fan base. All right, so the first thing you want to do to boost customer retention is to deliver on your brand promise. Sounds easy enough, right? Deliver on the promise, on every promise. Deliver on every promise. Make promises and keep those promises. You could say what you want to say about McDonald's. I mean, I don't eat McDonald's, but growing up, I ate a lot of McDonald's. And if you eat McDonald's right now, hey, knock yourself out. But say what you say about McDonald's. McDonald's is very, very consistent. Customers can rely on McDonald's that if they buy a Big Mac in Miami, it's going to taste the same as a Big Mac in Seattle. If they buy a Big Mac in Maine, it's going to be the same and taste the same as a Big Mac in Baja, California. So consistency. Say what you want about McDonald's, but McDonald's delivers on their brand promise every single time. So number 1 on the 3 ways to boost retention is to deliver on every promise. Keep it consistent. A way to find out if a brand is delivering on a brand under promise, or if you're trying to find out like, hey, Wes, what is my brand promise? A way to find out what your brand promise is just look at your motto. Now, the world's best motto, my favorite, is ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen. That's by the Ritz-Carlton. Ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen. That's their promise, that we are going to conduct ourselves like ladies and gentlemen, and you, myself, by calling. So this is the Jedi mind trick of the Ritz. This is the Jedi mind trick. I want you to take note to this. The Ritz motto is ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen. Now, the Ritz is letting you know that the people that are going to be serving you are white glove, ladies and gentlemen. The Ritz knows what training they have to go through to be ladies and gentlemen. But here's the Jedi mind trick. The Ritz says, ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen. They have just labeled you. Now, anyone knows anything about NLP and the power of labeling, you have just labeled the customer a ladies and gentlemen, a gentleman or a lady. So even if they were a thug, even if the guy on the other side of the counter, he says, I am a gangster, I am a hustler, I am a pimp, I am whatever he thinks he is. No, the Ritz is saying, while you're here, you are a gentleman. While you are here, you are a lady. That's the Jedi mind trick. That is so clever by the Ritz. So we are ladies and gentlemen serving you. We have just labeled you. You are a gentleman. You are a lady. And because you've been labeled, now all of a sudden you act accordingly. You see how that works? You see how that works, why it's so important, how the power of labeling. When someone assigns you, someone says, you are this, you start acting like that. So here it is. Even if this is a thug coming in with his bag, his pants sagging, say, hey, sir, you are a gentleman. Pulls his pants up and start acting accordingly. That is a Jedi mind trick by the Ritz, and it's so well done that it goes under the radar. I know some of the greatest thugs that I went to college with in college, and when they would book rooms at the Ritz, they were not thugging. They put on their Sunday best and act like gentlemen because they knew they had been labeled and they were a gentleman or a lady. Salute to all that you do, Mr. Lester. So we're talking about 3 ways to boost customer retention, the guys on Instagram. So there you go. Number 1, always deliver under promise. Here's another one, another motto, the world on time. That's FedEx. Another one, melts in your mouth, not in your hand. The promise is that these candies are going to melt in your mouth, not in your hand. That is a promise, and they deliver on that promise every single time. Breakfast of champions. Breakfast of champions. Meaning once you eat this, you're a champion. And we have the proof. All of the individuals that are on this box that have made it to the box are champions, delivering on that brand promise. Number 2 on the 3 ways to boost customer retention is to deliver what the customer is expecting. Deliver what the customer is expecting. If the customer is expecting Ritz quality, you cannot deliver Red Roof Inn. No shade to Red Roof Inn. No shade. If you like the Red Roof Inn and if you stay at the Red Roof Inn, knock yourself out. But if your customers are expecting Ritz level quality and you deliver Red Roof Inn quality, there's going to be a disconnect and they are not going to be happy. Newsflash, they are not going to be happy. And that means you have to tweak your messaging. You got to have someone, a professional ad copywriter, to take a look at your messaging to let your customers know, hey, I'm sure the pictures look like the Ritz, but really they were Photoshopped. And if you come in here, you're going to realize that we have wall air conditioners, wall mounted air conditioners, and we're really going to give you the Red Roof Inn type of quality. So you want to be sure that the messaging that you are delivering on what the customer expects. And if the customers are expecting one thing and you're delivering something else, there is definitely a disconnect that you have to rectify immediately. Because if they show up and they do not get what they're expecting, what are they going to do? Tell everybody else. Yes, they're going to tell everybody else that they've been hoodwinked and bamboozled. All right. So that's the second thing to do. The second pillar in the 3 ways to boost customer retention. The first is to deliver on a promise, on every promise. The second is to deliver what the customer expects. And the third is to give the customer more than they are paying for. Now, if you're in the service-based industry, this should be the default setting at your business. Giving the customer more than they are paying for should be the default setting if you are serving customers, if you're definitely in the service-based industries. It should be written into the culture. Everyone there should know that, yes, we are here to give the customers more than they are paying for. It's a given. It's a given. So those are the 3. I told you this was going to be a quick in and out doozy. The 3 ways to boost customer retention is 1, to deliver on every promise. Number 2 is to deliver what the customer expects. And number 3 is to give the customer more than they are paying for. That's it. Those are the 3 ways to boost customer retention. Now, if you need help boosting customer retention, if you or anything in your business has plateaued and you're like, man, it is not going the way we anticipated. It is not what we're used to. It's not, nothing is going the way it's supposed to. If you need help boosting customer retention, all you have to do is go to workwithwes.com, download our free case study video, and someone from the team will reach out to you, letting you know how we can help you boost customer retention. All right, that's it. Well, I wish you guys a great rest of the week. It's only Wednesday, and you should be halfway through your goals. If you're not, then you need to double up tonight. Don't fall farther behind, double up tonight. And I will see you guys back here next Wednesday at 8 a.m. Eastern for another CX in the Morning. Peace.